it's been difficult for me for quite some time. At a point before the elections, after assessing my security, I had to go out of the country for a while because after we being assaulted in the forest, there were a number of threats as well. People tracking your vehicle and all that. And so I had to go out of the country for a while. When I came back, you have a number of people who are coming to your inboxes and telling you that based on what we know, you have to stop doing what you're doing. You have to do this. You have to take care of your life. You have to stop this thing you are doing. It's dangerous. It makes you feel as if somebody is going to hit you one day when you're on the streets and you don't know who. And so you are always looking behind you. And you have family members who constantly keep calling you and they want you to stop. But this is what I do. This is my job. And what I'm doing, it doesn't benefit me alone. It's a whole country issue. Where we are going currently, if you assess the ground and if you see the diseases, if you see people who are dying on sickbed, some of them are my friends who I advised and they never listened. And now they are dying. And so I don't see why a simple thing of doing the right thing becomes a problem to the extent that I and my family must suffer for it. Right. With somebody coming to my inbox and writing, my wife's inbox, and writing that if you want your husband to be with you and your kids, advise him.
Who is this guy?
I have no idea. I don't know him from Adam, but I've reported to the police. The cyber people are working on it, and definitely we'll get to know him.
What's the name he uses and he used to contact, send messages to your wife?
So he goes by the name Chopu, CHOPU. But he has pictures of himself and other things. And he's unrepentant. If you look at the last few days, the kind of comments he still has been writing on my wife's page.
Oh, okay, so a lot of things can happen on social media. So we hope and pray that it's not somebody nameless person using other people's photos on his page and doing what he's seeking to do. How much assurance do you have from the police? I remember I led you to the police, even to the police headquarters, to lodge a complaint when you were threatened. 2 years after, the police seemed to have forgotten that you actually lodged a complaint, and they said that you had actually not lodged a complaint. Sometime last year, when I raised the issue about their incompetent conduct, they got one of their chiefs to call me, very high up in the police, to call me and ask me to, as it were, provide the information one more time so they assist. I was promised that the action will be swift. I've not heard a word from them still. It looks like it's business as usual. So how much confidence do you have, assurance do you have from the police?
Well, I remember all the issues you are talking about because I went with you to the National CID. I remember I also went with Suleiman Abrahama and Manasseh Azure on the same case. We followed up. Nothing happened. Nobody called me again, and that's it. But this time around, I've gotten the IGP call me personally, and he's asked the cyber team to also call me. One ASP, Kenneth, also called me, and he asked me to file a formal complaint with the regional police headquarters. I have done that, and they are also working on it. So for now, I'm certain that something will come out of it.
When we made the earlier complaints, there were identifiable individuals the police were supposed to pursue. They did nothing. In a situation where you are submitting a complaint without, identifiable individuals who are easy to access and contact. You still have so much faith?
There are certain details that might jeopardize the investigation, so I wouldn't want to mention it on TV.
Okay.
And that is what is giving me that assurance. And so I'm finger crossed, looking at the coming days to see what will happen.
Okay. Now, tell us, in the last few weeks, running up to the elections, after the election, and during the transition period, and by our measurements, we are thinking the transition we're still in the transition. The transition should end with the appointments being done. We have been doing this show from 8 a.m. Within the period of the transition. After the transition is over, we will revert to our 9 o'clock. Now, within this period, how bad has Galamsey gotten?
Samson, it will shock you to know that right after the word go, when President Mahama was declared winner of the elections, we had some NDC groups across Galamsey sites blocking roads and then preventing people from entering some forest. And they said they are taking over. They have taken over from that time until now. A case in question is the Tanwanyia Forest Reserve. In fact, that forest reserve, the degradation of it illegally was started by some elements within the MPP government. And I say so with all conviction because I know the name, though I will not mention names here. They know themselves. And we have been there so many times, reported on the degradation of that beautiful forest. And then when power changed hands, we had 3 NDC groups headed by one Karim, Baron, Farouk, and there's a guy who identifies himself as Mahama bodyguard. And they took over that forest. In fact, all investigations point to the MP for the area, Oscar Labi, as the one who brought them there to start degrading the forest. I called him, he denied, he said he was not involved. I asked him whether he knows the gentleman I was mentioning. He said yes, they are party boys. But at a point in time, he advocated that if they are allowing people to mine, they should also allow his boys to also mine. And I said, this is an area, this is a forest reserve. There are laws guiding mining in forest reserves, which are very, very strict. These are people who do not have any expertise, they don't have any license whatsoever, and you are advocating that they are giving licenses to mine. Is that not endorsing illegality? He said no. He only advised. But after that, the chiefs in the area, the Hawin municipality, traditional council, they've done a press conference, and they've accused him of being behind those boys who are mining in the forest. In fact, as at 3 days ago, the 3 camps were still in the forest and they were mining. It was when I put it on my Facebook page and it generated so much public uproar that 2 of them withdrew from the forest. It was left with 1 group that was still mining in the forest. I'm yet to check whether that group has also left. And these are people who are fully armed to the extent that the first week when they started, they engaged in a gun battle. 2 of them died. And there are others who are critically injured, and they still continue to mine. And they served warning to forest guards that if you attempt to come over there, they will deal with you. There are similar stories across the country that people are taking pictures and sent to me and said, people have suddenly taken over this area. People have come to take over this area. Can you come to our aid? I'm not a policeman. I'm only a journalist who is trying to help, us do these things. Those who have the power to stop it are there. And that is why I needed President Mahama to sound, an urgent warning, and I've heard him say something about it. Now we are waiting for the action itself to stop these things.
So from where you sit, the instructions and comments or pronouncement by President Mahama is sufficient?
It's not. It is a start, and it is a strong word that we needed, but it should be backed by action. And in fact,
is he acting slow?
To my knowledge, yes. And I said it before, because you heard it from his speech when he took power. I was expecting to hear something Galamsey, even the word Galamsey in his speech. I did not hear that. Subsequently, he's made speeches. I did not hear even the word Galamsey in that speech. And to me, it was disappointing for me, because I expected that word to come from him, a strong word in his speech, that this is what I'm going to do, a clear indication of what is going to happen.
You have been on this beat, and you know strong words don't mean anything to the Galamseyers, right? You have been to the field, and you have seen soldiers armed to the teeth shooting, and still these people are there. So what will strong words do to them?
In fact, if the leader of the country, when he started office, serves a strong warning in his first speech, in fact, by now, those groups who started taking over might have withdrawn. But because there was nothing, and there was that lapse, in Galamsey field, in Galamsey fight, a simple lapse in action sends a very strong wind down the various fields.
Okay, so Erastus, those who are commenting on the Joy News platform right now on Facebook, one of them says they think it is best for you to just stop this Galamsey reporting to save your life, because your country, even though it has decorated you with prestigious honor, the GJA award, you have won all of that, they won't do anything to prevent the wicked from trying to harm you.
Maybe they should tell me what I should do next.
Yeah, they say they say give up, just hang your boots on this.
The environment waits for no one. If you know, currently, Ghana Water Company has shut down its plant at Bonsa, because the Bonsa River can no longer be treated.
So this is not something you are considering at all, that for the fear of your life, to preserve your life, you just forget about pursuing Galamsey?
My life is anchored on, in the end, getting a piece of land and farming with the rivers that flow along my village. If I cannot use that river, I cannot farm, I cannot do anything. My children's children are not going to benefit from the forest that we have. It's an existential threat that all of us, not me alone. So instead of advising me to stop, why don't you join me so we can do it together?
Thank you very much, Erastus Asare Donkor, and we pray with you, and also hope that the security authorities will do what they have to do. At least this time, the IGP himself has intervened and is making sure that the right things are done.